Hey everyone, so we are starting a new series for Fast API web framework. So if you want to learn Fast API from starting to end, then please I do recommend to watch this full series and please follow this series along with me. So let's get started. So I hope you know that Python having a web frameworks like Django, Flask, and this is also one of the web framework by which we can create highly useful REST APIs. Okay, so this is the thing. Then now let's understand some overview of Fast API, like why we need to use that. So Fast API is a modern and high performance web framework, and by this we can build APIs, and it requires a Python 3.7 plus version. Okay, so if we want to work with Fast API, then we must need to have a version of Python uh, 3.7 plus. Okay, so this is the requirement, and like as I mentioned that it is having high performance. So also I will show you the graph. Means I will show you that. Let me show this first. So as you can see that if we compare performance while, then fast API is cracking the race. So as you can see, it is having a higher performance if we compare with another web framework. So this is the thing. And also it gives a production ready code, so we can create a production ready code by using fast API. And also like we can write our code very fast when we want to use, when we are using with fast API. So that is the thing. And also it gives an interactive API documentation. So this is one of the very useful uh, thing when we use fast API, because it also gives API documentation. So when we'll create our API, that we can see by our in our web server as well, means a web server page. So I will show you this as well. So we don't need to test our APIs into Postman. We don't need to do that. So we can just test our APIs into our web application server. So that is the main thing why most of the companies are moving to fast APIs. So like as I mentioned earlier, so fast API having a higher performance as compared to other. Okay, and as I mentioned that it is providing a very interactive API documentation. So when we'll say localhost slash localhost 8000 slash docs or slash redoc, then we'll get this kind of page. So this will give us a page where we can test our APIs, and it will also give the description of our APIs. So this is the best things why we use fast API. So now without wasting any time, let's get started and create our first application with fast API. So now I have created a folder called fast API here. Here we will work. So now I will open my VS Code. So this is the editor which we will use. So if you want to use another, then that is also a good thing. Okay, but I will use VS Code as of now. So before that we need to install some libraries. So we need to say install uh, pip install fast API, and also we need to install unicorn. So we'll install these two libraries. So let's say pip install fast API and sorry, not unicorn, we need to install uvcon. Okay, we need to install uvcon instead of unicorn, right? So uh, uvcon. Okay, so uvcon will be helpful when we want to run our server. Okay, means it will provide a ASCII server, so we can have a asynchronous request into our application. So now we have installed uvcon, and now that is fine, right? So now what we'll do, we'll create one file called main.py. So you don't require to give the same name which I'm giving, but yeah, I'm giving main.py name as a file name. Okay, main.py as a file name. So now we will import fast API. So let's say from fast API from fast API import fast API. Okay, so we need to import this. Then now we need to create an app instance for this fast API. So I'll just copy and just paste this, and we to give this. So now, as you can see, we have created the instance of fast API. So this is our application. So now what we'll do, when suppose some user is typing localhost, because by default our our server will get started on the localhost 8000 port. So suppose we are triggering this URL, then we need to have a hello world into, like, we need to have some kind of response into this page. Okay, so for this default home page, we will create one function. Okay, so let's say at the rate app. Okay, and then need to say get. So we'll use get request, and then we need to give the URL. So we want to assign this function with our home URL. So I will just say slash append. So this is our home URL, and then we will create one function. So let's say hello world. Okay, so I'm giving the name as hello world, and then we will return a JSON response. So now by default, like, we need to return some kind of dictionary here. So by default it will return response as a JSON. Okay, so now we need to create a JSON here. So let's say we are giving RP as a key parameter, and then uh, let's say colon, and then we'll give something called hello world, or hello RP will give. Okay, so now this is fine, and then what we'll do, we'll just run our server. So now let's open our terminal here, and then I will say unique uvicon, not unicorn. Okay, uvicon, and then we need to give the file name. So main.py is our file name. So I'll say main, not with extension. Okay, main. Then we need to give the app name. So this is app. Okay, so app, and then if we want to, like, if we we'll start our server, then if I changing something. Okay, so then our server will get automatically start by passing this reload. Okay, here. So then press enter. So now our application will get started. So as you can see, it is starting on this. So now let's go into this URL. Okay, and I will go into this URL. So now it will return us response. So as you can see, cannot import fast API from fast API. Okay, so now, like, we need to give a capital F instead of small. So now we'll say capital F and capital F. So now our server will get restarted, it will get reloaded, and then as you can see, if I refresh our page, and then as you can see, we got the response. So this is the response which we got. This is a JSON response. So one wonderful thing about using fast API, so if I will go into docs here, slash docs, and then you can see that we got a wonderful API documentation page. So if I expand this, and as you can see, we got a successful response. So this is for get response of our home page. So I hope you understood this hello world program, or hello world application with fast API. Later we'll see all the concept of a fast API. If you like this video, then please do like and subscribe my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye.